on, I feel silly.
No, keep them on. Are we good? Okay, comfort. I feel like it's a podcast interview now.
It is, yeah. Oh my god.
Does it look good?
Like, settled in.
Are you happy?
Just like,
The mic's working? Mic's working? Yep. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Welcome to the new space. So,
This is so amazing.
those of you that don't know who we are, so I'm Missy MacKintosh, founder, CEO of MisMacK Clean Cosmetics and creators of Sports Color Cosmetics. And I am sitting with...
Natalie Wilkie.
And you are?
I'm a Paralympian and I'm from Salmon Arm. I compete in biathlon and cross country.
Amazing. And is our very first sports ambassador. So, okay, I have so many questions. Okay, so we have been watching you all over social media, CBC, all of the news outlets. You literally stole the hearts of Canada. How do you feel?
That's a big question. I mean, I would say it's like a lot to do with the glitter I was wearing. Like, I remember getting so many questions in interviews about the glitter because the first race I did, I won silver and I was wearing silver glitter. And then they asked like, hey, did you like plan that? Like silver glitter for the silver medal? And I was like, I hadn't, but like, you know, maybe tomorrow I'm going to put on the gold glitter. And I did. And then I won gold the next day. And that continued happening for the rest of the games. Like I won a bronze medal as well and I was wearing pink glitter. And then I went back to the gold and I won another gold medal. So I think it was all in the glitter.
I love that. And the cool thing about our glitter that a lot of people don't know is that it's biodegradable. So what does that mean to you to support sustainability in the world that we live in?
Well, as a winter athlete, like I'm always concerned about like, you know, environmental issues like that because we kind of like, I think winter sports are going to die out eventually if we don't like, you know, change things like how things are going because we're losing so much snow every year. And it just like makes me worried about other things like microplastics too, because I mean, when we're competing, we don't want to be concerned about like, you know, putting microplastics into our systems because obviously we just want to like focus on like the task at hand and, you know, be healthy about it too. And so I think the fact that like your glitter is biodegradable is something that like we haven't really seen before. Like, I mean, I haven't as an athlete, like you're like the first brand that has made biodegradable glitter to like my knowledge, I guess. And so I'm just like super proud to partner with you on that, like for my own health, but also for the health of the planet.
And what are the odds that we're both from Salmon Arm?
I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's so cool. So what does it feel like for you before you go to the race? Like, why is the glitter such an important piece of your race day?
Well, it kind of became part of my routine. This entire season, I mean, obviously I've been like using glitter for like a lot longer because we started working together like quite a while ago. But this year I was like really consistent about putting on glitter like every single race. And I got my teammates into it as well. And it just kind of became like part of our like race day routine. Like, okay, we're getting up to the race site. We're like testing skis. Now we have a few minutes. Let's go put on our glitter, like put on our hearts or whatever. And it was just like such a fun bonding activity with my teammates. And like for me too, it kind of like set the tone. It was like, okay, glitter's on, like I'm locked in. It kind of like to me, like the glitter represents like, you know, having fun too, finding the joy in things and just not taking things too seriously. But it's also kind of become like a part of like my race day armor. Like, okay, glitter's on, I'm locked in, let's go race.
I love it. It was so cool to watch you. To compete on such a national stage, and you literally stole the hearts of Canada. It was wild. And so much that you got to sit down and have a very special interview with someone very special. Who was that?
That was Mark Carney. I got to speak with the Prime Minister of Canada.
How was that?
It was actually like, okay, so I've spoken with Justin Trudeau before, because after my first Paralympics, I got to meet him in his office and stuff. And I always find that like, people who are famous, like, and you get to like meet them for the first time, like I feel like I was like building up an image of who they were in my head and stuff. And then like Mark Carney was just like, he was so chill. Like, you know, he's just a regular person. He asked some really great questions, and I could tell he had like done some research and stuff and was like really interested in like hearing about my games experience. And that just like made me feel like he's just normal. We were just having conversation. Like we were having such a casual chat that I accidentally called him Mark, which I still feel bad about. I know I'm supposed to say Mr. Prime Minister, but he took it in stride. And you know, I didn't hear him call me Miss Gold Medalist, so.
That's true. Goldie. I love that. That's so cool. So how many Olympics have you gone to?
I've gone to 3 Paralympics.
And how old were you when you went to your first one?
I had just turned 17.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I was just a baby.
And where was that?
The first one was in Pyeongchang, in Korea.
Okay, in Korea.
Yeah.
Wow, what an experience.
It was so cool.
I have to say, so my son, I actually grew up on Larch Hills. So I grew up on Grampy Bench. So not very, yeah. Yeah, I grew up on Grampy Bench.
Okay.
So very close. And I would go up to the ski hole with my son. And I remember the bus driver telling me all about you. And I was like, oh, that is so cool. And how like two Larch Hill girls go after their dreams unexpectedly. Because I never thought that I could do makeup in a small town, yet alone build a national brand from a small town. And then how does it feel to be such a representation, one, for females, and two, for the Paralympics?
I feel like it's kind of like a big responsibility. I mean, like, obviously, like, I want to like go out into the world and like make sure I'm like, you know, in a position to, I don't know how to say this. Like,
To represent it,
I want to represent it well. Like, I want to be a good role model. I want to show people that sports are not just about like competitiveness all the time. Like, there's also a really fun side, like, you know, putting on glitter with your teammates. And like in terms of the Paralympics, like, I think it's so important to recognize us as also athletes. I mean, like, Paralympians work just as hard, if not harder, to get to the Paralympics. And like, I'm not one who's super affected by my disability, but like somebody in a wheelchair, like the amount of preparation it takes them, like even just for like a race day, like it takes so much longer, it's so much more effort, there's so many more costs involved. Like, just think of all the equipment that people need to like travel with to get to these competitions. And so it just like, I feel like, I mean, I hope that I can represent the Paralympics in a good way and just like shed more light on who we are, like not just as people, but as athletes too. One of the things that, sorry, I'm like still going, but
I love it. No, I was gonna say, I think you're doing a great job.
Okay, thanks.
Really
Yeah,
do.
I just want to say, like, one of the things that like people often like misconceive about Paralympians, I guess, is like they always like write stories and stuff about like us like overcoming our disabilities or injuries or whatever, but I feel like it takes away from like us Paralympians as athletes. And so like I would prefer if people looked at us as athletes first, just like they do our Olympic counterparts, instead of just like, wow, this person is so amazing, they had this accident or they were born with this disability and they've like overcome it by going to the Paralympics, which is inspiring, but we're not here just to inspire people in that way. Like, we just want to go out and compete and do our best and be known as athletes.
And you train your ass off, because every time I'm like, hey, can you just like, I'm training.
Yeah, I'm training twice a day right now, so it ends up being a lot of hours every day.
I think that is such an important piece to it, and I think you were absolutely right. The more we can talk about that and more spotlight the athletes of the Paralympics, I think that that's so important. And I'm so honored to be able to do that. I'm so honored to have you as our very first sports color cosmetics ambassador. It's so exciting.
I'm so proud to represent you guys too.
Oh, it means the world.
It's an honor.
I had so many more questions too. What? Yeah, I'm gonna get my phone here. We can edit this.
Yeah, we're just rolling.
I had questions.
Oh my gosh, I just want to pet you.
What?
Can I touch you?
She's like, I don't know, today's a big day, guys.
You just look so soft. Oh my gosh, she is soft. She's like, don't touch me, I'm busy sleeping.
No, it wasn't in here.
My dog's the same. He likes his people. He doesn't like to be touched all the time by other people. She's just so cute, though.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that. I got to meet some therapy dogs the other day. I went to a memorial.
Cool.
That's not the fun part, but there were like some dogs. I don't remember like the handler's name, but she goes to hospital like a few times a week kind of thing, and she had 2 corgis and they were so cute. Like, I crouched down to pet them, they came over, like sat beside me, and she's like, well, they're parked now, you gotta pet them. I was like, yeah, gladly. Yeah, do I have to?
Okay, I got a bunch of questions here. Okay. What does sport mean to you personally?
That's such a big question.
Right?
What does sport mean to me? I feel like, I mean, as a female too, I feel like it's a great way, like, for me to stay active and to like be a role model for other girls to also stay in sport, because it's actually crazy, like the dropout rate for girls in their teens with sports.
Yes.
And so like I hope that like I don't know, just like being in sport and trying to be an advocate for like finding the joy amongst like the competitiveness of sport too. Like I hope that can inspire young girls to stay in sport as well. Because I know for me, like growing up, like here, like on the ski team, I was on the mountain bike team, like cross country running, track and field and that sort of thing. Like the most important part for me was having like a group of friends around me. And I feel like as I got older and like people like, you know, dropped out, went on to do other things, went to study, it was like harder to like stay in that group, but like there was such a huge social aspect to that, and I really think that sports should be like fun first and a good social experience, because all my friends, like, I mean, that was like a social time for me. Like I'd go and work out, but I'd also just be hanging out with my girls kind of thing. Totally. So I think that's like a really important part of sport.
That's awesome. I love that. When did you first realize that you love competing?
Actually, I did my first race when I was like 5.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, like the local Reno Kesky Sami Lapit.
Okay,
like for that age, I think it's like a 1 kilometer loop or something. And I do it like with my grandma or with my mom or something. Because I mean, I wasn't very fast at like 5 years old. Yeah. So they would just be like skiing along and I'd be like, you know, dying beside them. But yeah, I didn't like know that I was in a race at that age. Maybe I was 4. I don't really remember what age I was, but I wasn't really aware that we were like racing. So I was just going for it. I crossed the finish line and I was like, oh, somebody told me I won. And my grandma was like, you just won first place. And I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. So cool. So the next year I like came in with a bit more like determination. There were like some kids trying to beat me, but I wasn't going to let them.
You're like, nah.
Yeah. So I would say like from that age, like I kind of like, I liked racing and I liked, you know, being competitive with like my peers and stuff. And I didn't actually really start like, I mean, I kind of like, I joined the Jackrabbits. I was like on the ski team and we were just like doing adventures and fun stuff. Yeah. And then when I was like 12 or 13, I kind of got more into racing again and I joined the race team here. And that's like when I started like traveling for races and doing them more like regularly throughout the season. Cool. And I would say that was kind of like the switch for me. Cause then after that, it was like since then it's been like a one track kind of, I've just been racing and training and that's all awesome. I've been focusing on.
Okay, so I have a question. So one part of your race in the Olympics is your shooting. Mm-hmm. How do you train for that?
Well, I mean, like, there's a skiing component and there's also the biathlon component, which is like, both are so different. And this is why I like the sport actually so much, because like you have to like combine those two components. Like in a race, like you're racing, like your heart rate is high, you're dying, and then you have to lie down on the mat and then also just kind of like, you know, calm your thoughts, calm your mind, and like shoot.
Because like one little heart like pump or you're like, right?
Well, and it's hard because you're timed when you're in the range. So like the longer you take on the mat to like set up and get your shots down, like you're also wasting that time. Like your competitors could be like going by you kind of thing. And so it's like that balance of like, how much time do I need to take to make sure that I hit my shots? And like, you know, if I shoot too early, I'm just going to like miss everything and have to ski penalty laps. Crazy. So the training for that is like, we'll usually like shoot while we're skiing, just like easy sessions. Okay. There's a range in Canmore. It's like, I mean, we don't usually go to regular ranges. Like we have specific ranges with tracks attached to them so that we can like ski, do laps, and then shoot just like we would in competition. And so like, yeah, we kind of like combine that training.
What got you into that part of the sport?
I was coerced.
I had no choice, basically.
I started as a cross-country skier. I had no interest in biathlon. Like biathlon is for like the nerd kids, you know? Like I was a skier. I was not a biathlete. Yeah. And then once I had my accident and started spending time like with the para-national team, like a lot of them would do biathlon because it would give them more race opportunities. Because we would go on trips and like competition trips, and there would be like, you know, 3 or 4 cross-country races and then 3 biathlon races. And if you only did cross-country, you would have so many less races. Right. And so a lot of people would do both just because it was convenient and like you got more race opportunities, and biathlon is kind of fun actually. And so, so after my first Paralympics, they handed me a rifle and were like, hey, would you like to try this? Like super innocent, you know, like just, you know, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but you know, just try. And then it kept like happening again and again and again. Like every time I went to Canmore to train with the team, they'd be like, yeah, you can try some biathlon again. And I started to like it a bit more, but it was such a process for me. Like biathlon did not come super naturally.
I bet.
And so, like the first Paralympic Games in Beijing, I did, well, no, that was my second games, but that was the first games that I did biathlon. I did one biathlon race and I came second last, and after that I was like, yeah, this sucks, man. Like, I don't want to do biathlon anymore. Like, I missed like I think 7 out of my 10 shots, and I was doing like 5 laps in a row in the penalty lap, so that's definitely not fun. But then like the last 4 years, I decided to make it more of a focus, and I was like, you know, I gotta turn this around. Like, I don't like sucking at things, so I have to make this work. And then the last couple of years, it's been going a lot better. And then at this games, I won my first Paralympic medal in biathlon, which was super exciting.
Which one is that?
This is the silver.
Woohoo!
This is the first medal I won in biathlon at the Paralympics. And then the 2 golds were also in biathlon, and the bronze was in cross country.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, overall, like a pretty good games, and kind of funny because I've only ever won medals in cross country. And so to have most of them biathlon this year, I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
This is the thing. We need to keep going with it. That's amazing. What a cool experience. And what was it like growing up in Salmon Arm?
Salmon Arm is actually a really nice community. I mean, everybody kind of like knows each other, and there's such like a community focus. Like, people like look out for each other. I feel like there's also like a lot of sports teams here, which is like why it was so easy for me to get into like cross country or like do so many other sports like throughout high school and stuff. Is because like there's so many people who are just like outdoorsy, like to do activities. And yeah, like I said earlier, like all of my friends at school were also like friends who like were part of these sports teams, and so I feel like that was just like a really great way to be introduced to everything.
That's so
and
cool.
I think in high school I kind of like wanted to get out of Salmon Arm again, because I was like,
we all did. I did too.
Yeah, it's such like a sleepy small town. Like, you know, there's so many like old people everywhere, and it's like I feel like you always want to get away from the place where you grew up.
Yes.
But then like having like spent so many years like away from Salmon Arm, I'm like, this is actually kind of a nice place to live.
Right. We all come back. It's crazy. And now it's not a retirement town. Now we have such amazing, like, we have MisMacK, we have you, we have such an amazing community that is all here to cheer us on. And I've had businesses in Kelowna and Victoria, but here there's something so special about Salmon Arm. So going into small towns, so one thing that we shot today was the brand new O Canada glitter that is both on our faces, gracing our faces, that's going to launch with PharmaSave. What does that feel like to you?
I'm so excited for like you, for your brand, like to be working with like PharmaSave, like a huge retailer in Canada, and to be launching like this glitter on Canada Day too. It's gonna be so cool, and I feel like it's gonna be a huge step forward for your brand. I mean, you're already like in like the sports worlds with like glitter for like racing and stuff or games or whatever, but then also to like launch it on Canada Day, like everyone's gonna wear glitter. And there's no reason not to wear glitter.
Especially when it's red and it's biodegradable and called O Canada. Well, Natalie, we're so proud of you. Like, seriously, words cannot describe how proud we are to have you part of the MisMacK family, an ambassador, and the very first sports ambassador for MisMacK. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being the face of our O Canada Red, and we can't wait to launch this with you.
I'm so excited for this, and of course I'm really proud to be like wearing your glitter on like the world stage and stuff. Everyone always asks me like where it's from. I'm like, it's MisMacK.
I love that.
They're like, they're local. Yeah, they're from my hometown. Here's the glitter, you can have it.
Yeah, right. Share the love with biodegradable
Exactly.
glitter.
So I'm really excited about this and super honored that I get to be part of this campaign.
Oh, we're so excited. Yeah. Stay tuned. Coming to a PharmaSave near you.